G'day. Today we're doing a service on the transmission on a 32 Ford Coupe. Now this one's actually got the Holden the 700R4 transmission in it. You can have a look there. And they're the 4L60 type transmission with the cable. Now if we have a look here, he's got the accelerator linkage here on the top. You can see that on that cam on the carby. And the bottom one is actually the cable to the transmission. So you can fiddle around with this one, adjust the pressure and the shift points in these particular transmissions by just adjusting that cable or lengthening or shortening the inner cable ratio to the outer cable ratio. Now to make things a little bit less messy, we just like to hook our vacuum pump onto it and suck the oil out of there, out of the filler tube. Now while we've got it up on the hoist, good idea to check your uni joints for any oil leaks. This one's got a bit of an oil leak on the extension housing seal there. A bit hard to see with the orange colour. There you go. And he's also, his speedo's out. He's got a speedo, it's an electric one with the manual part as well. So he's got the drive gear, the driven gear, and then the electronic part of it. So his speedo is apparently showing a little bit too fast. So what you'd need to do is change that ratio. We need to slow down the driven gear so it's not spinning around so fast. So you actually put more teeth on there. Bit of trial and error. Doesn't appear to have any oil leaks under the motor or out the front there. Whereas he's got his cooling lines. Now he's coiled the cooling lines here, and he's got the oil cooler under the body there. Now you don't pull the filter right down because there'll be some trapped in there, especially if the oil's hot, or if you're working on the ground, you don't want that oil all over your head. And this is what that cable adjustment actually adjusts here. And there is a little ball, a little detent ball with a rod that's raised as well. But that's what that adjustment is there. You can see it doesn't start to press that valve in, the detent valve, until it gets down a little bit. These don't have solenoids in them except for the torque converter clutch solenoid. And it looks pretty clean. These pipes, you want to make sure that they're nice and snug in there. They're not loose or anything like that. And you've also got a pressure switch there on the end. So you want to make sure these wires aren't worn or rubbing on anything as it works. Now with these aftermarket filler tubes, you just want to make sure that the fluid level height is correct. And the way you do that, generally on these, the fluid level height is just slightly above the pan rail when it's at operating temperature. You want the valve body completely covered in fluid. If you have it overfilled, what can happen is that the spinning parts in the transmission will aerate the oil, and then you'll end up in a hydraulic circuit. Air can be compressed, oil can't be, so you don't want that happening. And what can also happen is the fluid ends up getting foamed and comes out of the breather. You can see there's a little bit of fuzz on the magnet there, but not too bad. New filter on, and that's basically it. When you're putting the cork rubber gaskets on, just make sure the pan rail's all nice and dry. You don't need to put any goop or Silastic or anything on there, and just go straight on. Alright, all back together. Just going to put some oil in there, or fluid. Check it with the motor running at operating temperature. It's got the dipstick. Anyway, I hope that's helped. Not much in there, but interesting, I suppose. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any comments, leave them in the section below. Thank you for watching.